What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into our first news. Umar Nurmagomedov picked up a unanimous decision win over Deiveson Figueiredo, but the performance sparked heavy debate across the MMA community. Heading into the fight, Figueiredo already faced criticism after missing weight by 2.5 pounds, resulting in a 25% purse fine. Despite the setback, the fight still went ahead, with Umar controlling the action and securing the decision on the judges' scorecards. While the win added to Umar's unbeaten momentum, many fans and analysts were left underwhelmed. A large portion of the community described the fight as dull, arguing that Umar took minimal risks and focused solely on doing enough to win. One reaction described Umar as a great fighter, but boring, saying he only takes the risks necessary to secure the decision and never pushes beyond that. Another commentator pointed out that Figueiredo missed weight and appeared disengaged, retreating for most of the fight and only showing urgency in a single moment, making the decision feel inevitable. Others questioned what the result means for Umar's title aspirations. Some believe the performance was not strong enough to justify an immediate title shot, suggesting he could face the winner of O'Malley versus Yadong, while Jan potentially rematches Merab. After the fight, Umar addressed the criticism by explaining that the lack of engagement from his opponent made it difficult to create a more exciting contest. He admitted he expected a tougher challenge and even said some of his recent sparring partners gave him harder rounds. Umar stressed that he always tries to push forward and fight aggressively, but when an opponent refuses to engage, it limits the ability to put on a truly competitive fight. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to support the channel. Moving on to another news. Jean Silva versus Arnold delivered exactly what fans were hoping for. An absolute banger from start to finish. The two featherweights exchanged heavy shots throughout all 3 rounds, with momentum swinging back and forth in what felt like a razor-close fight. The opening round saw Arnold using sharp footwork and clean movement to control large stretches, while Silva stayed aggressive and kept pressing forward. As the fight progressed into the second round, Silva began to turn up the intensity. His pressure, volume, and physicality started to overwhelm Allen in key moments, shifting the tone of the fight. By the third round, Silva had fully built on that momentum, pushing the pace and forcing exchanges. In the final 40 seconds, Silva had the crowd buzzing when he pointed down to the canvas in a Max Holloway-style moment before suddenly launching himself at Allen, adding a dramatic exclamation point to the bout. When the scorecards were read, Silva was awarded the unanimous decision victory. However, one judge scoring the fight 30-27 raised eyebrows and drew heavy criticism, as many felt the fight was far too competitive for such a wide margin. Reactions poured in immediately. Ben Askren joked about back control scoring, while others sarcastically echoed the 30-27 scoreline. Some analysts went even further, suggesting Silva's next fight could be for the featherweight title. The Weasel summed it up best, calling it a thrilling 3-round war. Silva's simply responded afterward with a confident message, writing, "Doubt me now!" Moving on to another news, the fight between Waldo Cortes-Acosta and Derrick Lewis turned out to be a strange and unexpected affair. In the second round, Lewis slipped and ended up on the canvas, seemingly deciding to just lay there. Acosta immediately seized the opportunity, raining down a flurry of punches that forced the referee to stop the fight, giving him a TKO victory. After the bout, Acosta wasted no time calling out Curtis Blades, signaling his intentions to keep climbing the ranks. Reactions from the MMA community were both humorous and analytical. Alan Jubin compared the sequence to something Anderson Silva might do, while spinning back fist joked that Lewis slipped on a banana peel. The Weasel noted the clear athletic difference, saying Waldo outclassed Lewis with superior speed and fight IQ, and that Lewis seemed to simply accept defeat. Vince Morales likened Lewis's situation to an Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin scenario, and Derek Brunson highlighted that Acosta's fight intelligence is far ahead of his actual fight experience. In the end, Waldo Cortes-Acosta capitalized on the moment and showcased his skill, proving why he's a rising force in the division. Moving on to another news, the co-main event between Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong delivered an exciting bantamweight clash that kept fans on their feet. Leading up to the fight, Merab tweeted at O'Malley, jokingly saying, "Let's go, Sugar Sean. Make me look good, please. Lol." That added an extra layer of anticipation, as fans wondered if O'Malley would live up to the hype. Round 1 saw both fighters trading shots, with Song repeatedly targeting O'Malley's legs with sharp kicks. Late in the round, O'Malley almost secured a guillotine, showing off his submission skills. Round 2 belonged mostly to Song, who controlled large stretches of the fight and kept the pressure on. By round 3, O'Malley came back with solid exchanges, landing a brutal knee to Song's face that helped seal the victory. Reactions poured in quickly after the fight. Merab was thrilled, saying, "Feels right, Sugar Sean. So happy for you, brother." Petryan joked, asking if anything important had happened, while Bilal Muhammad confirmed, "Sean took that one." The Weasel called it a close fight, but noted O'Malley's effective range striking and Song's strong leg kicks and takedowns. Matt Brown scored O'Malley for the first and third rounds, suggesting a 30-24 score, and Sean Sheehan highlighted that Merab was likely the happiest person of the night. Many fans speculated that if a Jan versus Merab trilogy takes time, Umar versus O'Malley could be an ideal matchup. In the end, O'Malley's performance was enough to earn him the win, showcasing his striking precision, resilience, and ability to capitalize on key moments. Moving on to another news. Cameron Smotherman has spoken out for the first time following the frightening weigh-in incident that took place ahead of UFC 324. During Friday's official weigh-ins, the bantamweight made weight successfully, but moments later collapsed face first on the stage, immediately alarming fans, media, and officials in attendance. On-site medical staff rushed to his aid within seconds, carefully assisting him off the stage before transporting him to a nearby hospital for evaluation. The incident quickly spread across social media, with many fans expressing serious concern and speculating about what may have caused the collapse. Later that day, the UFC provided an update, confirming that Smotherman had undergone CT scans for his head and neck, received a few sutures, and was ultimately cleared and discharged from the hospital. Later on Friday night, Smotherman released his first public statement, aiming to calm fears and clear up rumors surrounding the situation. He began by thanking fans for the overwhelming number of messages and the genuine concern shown toward him. Smotherman reassured everyone that he is completely okay and feeling good, despite how serious the incident looked. He admitted that he is not entirely sure what caused the collapse, but strongly pushed back against claims that it was the result of an extreme weight cut. Smotherman explained that he genuinely did not cut much weight for this fight, and actually came in fairly light compared to past weigh-ins. According to him, throughout the entire week, his weight cut was minimal, making the online speculation frustrating to see. Smotherman acknowledged that many people immediately assumed the worst, suggesting he had done a dangerous or reckless cut. He emphasized that this was not the case at all, and that he took the process seriously and responsibly. While he does not yet have a clear answer, he shared that he will be undergoing additional tests in the coming weeks to fully understand what happened and to ensure there are no underlying issues. Despite the uncertainty, Smotherman remained positive and grateful. He reiterated that he is healthy, appreciative of the support, and hopeful to return soon. He also took a moment to apologize to his opponent, recognizing the disappointment caused by the incident and the disruption to the fight. In the end, Smotherman's message was focused on reassurance and accountability. He made it clear that his health is the top priority and that he is committed to getting answers before stepping back into competition. For now, he is resting, recovering, and thankful for the support as he looks ahead to returning when the time is right. Moving on to another news, Dana White has shared his reaction to the frightening weigh-in incident involving Cameron Smotherman, giving fans a first-hand look at his thoughts in the aftermath. Speaking to the media, Dana admitted that even he does not fully understand how the collapse happened. He explained that if doctors cannot pinpoint a cause, there is no way for him to know exactly what occurred. Dana noted that there are many possibilities, from nerves to other unknown factors, and compared it to the way people sometimes faint at weddings. Despite the uncertainty, Dana emphasized that the outcome could have been far worse. Smotherman fell face first without putting his hands out, which could have been disastrous. Dana's first concern was whether Smotherman had kept his teeth intact. Fortunately, he only needed a few stitches on his chin, and considering how serious the incident looked, Dana called it about as good as it could have turned out under the circumstances. Dana also addressed the broader issue of weight cutting in the sport. He acknowledged that some fighters, including Deiveson Figueiredo, had missed weight recently, highlighting that extreme weight cuts remain a challenge in MMA. While Dana praised the improvements made through the UFC's Performance Institute and the support provided to fighters, he stressed that there is always room for further enhancements. He noted that weight cutting will never be completely eliminated because fighters are ultimately adults making their own decisions. Many will push themselves to gain any advantage possible, and while guidance is available, the final choice rests with the athletes themselves. He concluded by emphasizing the balance between safety and competition, noting that the sport has come a long way in providing support, but risk is always present when athletes choose to test their limits. Dana's perspective offered reassurance, highlighting that while these situations are serious, the systems in place and the medical care available help manage the risks and protect fighters whenever possible. The message was clear. MMA is high stakes, but the organization continues to prioritize fighter safety while acknowledging the realities of the sport. Moving on to another news. Michael Chandler is still holding on to hope that a fight with Conor will eventually come together, even after Dana White publicly shut down the idea and said it is not happening. Appearing on the UFC's official podcast ahead of UFC 324, Chandler spoke openly about his future, potential opponents, and where his mindset is at after everything that has happened over the last year. Chandler admitted that, despite all the uncertainty, Conor remains the fight that interests him the most. To him, it is still the most obvious matchup on the table and the one that makes the most sense from every angle. He explained that when you apply basic logic, or what he called a razor for decision-making, the simplest and most obvious solution is usually the right one. In his eyes, that solution has always been Conor. However, Chandler also acknowledged that the sport does not always operate on logic, and that reality has forced him to broaden his perspective. While Conor remains the dream fight, Chandler said he has reached a point of rejuvenation. He described a renewed fire and motivation, especially if that long-awaited matchup never materializes. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, he wants to stay active and pursue big fights against top-level competition. Chandler emphasized that he does not believe his most recent performance reflected his true skill set, passion, or intensity, pointing to outside circumstances that affected his preparation and execution. Because of that, Chandler made it clear that he is hungry to prove himself again. He mentioned several elite names in the lightweight division as possibilities, including Max, Charles, and Arman. At the same time, he was realistic about where he stands in the division. He openly admitted that after losing his last fight, the sport does not always reward you with a bout against the number 2 contender. Chandler understands that logic, but he also believes that his value, experience, and style still justify major matchups. Rather than demanding a specific opponent, Chandler said he is taking a more open approach. Whatever opportunity comes his way, he is prepared to accept it. His priority is simple: get back into the octagon, face a high-level opponent, and remind everyone of who he is as a fighter. Despite all of that, the Conor fight still lingers in the background, especially with jokes circulating about Conor being at the White House and the idea of not even asking Dana White about it anymore. In the end, Chandler brushed off outside opinions and comments from executives. For him, the focus remains on staying ready, staying relevant, and being prepared for whatever big opportunity presents itself next. Moving on to another news. The main event between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje delivered an absolute war that had fans on the edge of their seats from start to finish. Heading into the fight, Paddy made headlines when he revealed he had bought 250 UFC tickets, claiming it cost around $150,000, so his family and friends could watch him compete live. The stakes were high, and both fighters brought everything to the octagon. Round 1 opened with both men landing clean, heavy shots. At one point, Gaethje pressed Paddy against the cage with a series of strikes, dropping him briefly, but letting him back up. Late in the round, Paddy suffered an eye poke but managed to continue fighting. Round 2 continued the brutal pace, with Gaethje swinging big and Paddy countering with precision. Gaethje dropped Paddy again later in the round, and a replay suggested another eye poke, but Paddy survived and showed incredible resilience. Round 3 saw both fighters going all out. Paddy landed continuous leg kicks, and in the middle of the round, he accidentally landed a knee to Gaethje's groin. Gaethje took some time but was able to continue. The exchanges remained fierce, with both men showing tremendous toughness and heart. Round 4 belonged mostly to Gaethje, who landed heavy shots and controlled much of the action, making it clear that Paddy had taken significant damage but refused to back down. Round 5 was another highlight, with both men pushing their limits. The crowd was electric as they exchanged punches, kicks, and knees in a thrilling finish. When the final horn sounded, Gaethje secured the victory, but Paddy earned massive respect for his courage and relentless heart throughout the 5 rounds. The MMA community quickly reacted to the fight. Arman commented, "This clown couldn't beat Gaethje on antibiotics," while Dustin Poirier welcomed Paddy to the big leagues, saying, "One up for the legends." Islam Makhachev quipped, "What was brought on a platter turned out to be inedible." And Khabib Nurmagomedov praised Paddy, saying, "Just engage. Absolutely legend. My congratulations. What a fight." Bilal Muhammad highlighted Gaethje's consistency, noting that he has a guaranteed bonus every fight. Henry Cejudo called it one of the greatest fights of all time, and Michael Chiesa added that the first main event of 2026 absolutely delivered, showcasing vintage Gaethje and tremendous heart from Paddy. Umar Nurmagomedov summed it up simply, "What a fight. Wow." While Alan Jouban acknowledged Paddy's success despite making mistakes. Jared Gordon, Adrian Yanez, and Paulo Costa all praised the fight as a war, noting Paddy's durability and Gaethje's highlight reel performance. Corey and Brad Tavares emphasized the physical toll, with Corey pointing out that Paddy's face was likely hurting since round 2. In the end, the fight was a masterclass in heart, toughness, and high-level striking, with Gaethje walking away with the win. But Paddy Pimblett cementing himself as one of the most fearless and entertaining fighters in the sport today. Fans and fighters alike celebrated the incredible performance, calling it a perfect way to kick off the Paramount Plus era. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of MMA news.